The global outlook for castor seed and oil. We cannot talk about this without considering the global situation of vegetable oils in particular, as well as commodity markets in general. The invasion of Russia in Ukraine threatens to have severe effects on commodity markets, particularly on crude mineral oil, on gas, on wheat, on corn, on sunflower oil, sunflower meal, and other products. We have seen some of that during the past 2 days. What are the repercussions on edible oils in coming months, on castor oil, castor seed in coming months? We have to consider the situation in palm oil. Palm oil prices at new record highs this week. Where is the end? Prices are at unprecedented territory. We have seen unusual developments in oilseeds worldwide over the past 1 year, 1.5 years. Severe climatic problems all over the world. 1/3 of the Canadian canola crop was lost due to drought last year. Over the past 2 months, drought in South America damaged the soybean crop by at least 27 million tons, probably 30 million tons. Lower soybean supplies, lower crushings of soybeans have reduced and will reduce production and export supplies of soybean oil. Sunflower oil. What can we expect in form of sunflower oil exports over the past couple of months? We at Oil World International Statistical Agricultural Information, we have observed this market now since 1958, 65 years ago. We are doing global market research with particular focus on oilseeds, vegetable and animal oils and fats, oil meals, and increasingly also on grains and biodiesel. We are providing forecasts of supply, demand, and prices to our readers in more than 100 countries. We are independent. We are not involved in trading. We don't have any positions. So we are unbiased. And today I can be only very brief, but I invite everybody of you to contact me if he requires additional information. Castor. Prices of castor oil have strengthened significantly since we met last year, and this was not unexpected. Castor seed production was moving into a deficit, and this supply problems in castor have supported castor oil prices. But of course, castor oil also got spillover support from other vegetable oils. So we see rallying prices here in Rotterdam. Castor oil prices have appreciated to $2,200, weakened slightly. We had some weather problems and some delays in India, some delays also in shipments, which supported castor prices last month. Candler currently at $1,900. Have we seen the peaks in prices? Probably yes, but probably there is some additional upward potential depending what the actual Indian production of castor seed is, and depending on the further development of world imports from China and other countries. And lastly, of course, depending on spillover effects of other vegetable oils. World production of castor seed is in deficit. For India, we currently see the crop somewhere between 1.7 to 1.8 million tons. Plantings were reduced. Luckily, Indian farmers made major progress in raising yields. At the moment, we work with a crop estimate of 1.75 million tons. This is less than required and will keep Indian supplies of castor relatively small. In the rest of the world, depressed production compared to 10 and 20 years ago. Indian dominance on the world market has further increased, as you know. Brazilian production on a declining trend, 27,000 tons produced in Brazil this season. At the moment, expectations are for some moderate increase, but this remains to be seen and also depends on weather conditions in the next few weeks. Very little improvement likely in Brazil, Africa, Thailand, China, relatively low production. So worldwide, castor seed is in relatively tight supply. As far as castor oil is concerned, consumers already built stocks in China, in Europe, in the US, and many other countries in the course of 2021. World stocks of castor high at around 190,000 tons at the beginning of this season. Imports could be reduced, moderating the impact of the smaller Indian export supplies for the current season. October-September 2021-22, we expect world imports to decline to 660,000 tons. Chinese imports probably down 60,000 tons, 300,000 tons, which is possible, which is possible without reducing consumption in China by reducing the large stocks of castor oil. Same in Europe. For Europe, we see only a slight decline in castor consumption in the current season, but imports will probably drop to 180 to 185,000 tons. Despite the lower production in India, despite the lower production of castor worldwide, it is still possible to slightly raise world consumption. Now we have to look at the vegetable oil market worldwide. Prices skyrocketed over the past 2 years. We already faced high prices last year. When we met last year in February, prices even increased further, particularly over the past 2 months. This week, soya oil prices in Argentina rallied to 1,630 as of February 23. They continued to appreciate yesterday, up sharply from 1 year and 2 years earlier. Sun oil prices have been about or close to the year ago level. Prices have become more competitive. Sun oil prices become more competitive at a discount to soya oil and palm oil, but this could change depending on the developments of production and export supplies from the Black Sea. Palm oil, record high Indonesian palm oil prices at 1,660 on February 23, increased sharply again yesterday with very high volatility, a lot of uncertainty in the market. Palm oil at the moment more than double, far more than double the 5-year average, and up steeply by around $600 from a year ago. This of course is affecting consumers in many importing countries, particularly in the developing world. Consumers are struggling hard to cover their requirements at these high prices. Sunflower oil, the war in Ukraine has created a lot of uncertainty regarding crushings and exports of sunflower oil. Some crushing plants have reportedly been closed yesterday. A week ago, in our monthly global analysis of February 18, we had estimated an increase in world exports of sunflower oil by 2.4 million tons in the current season. All of this increase was anticipated to occur in February, September, following a sluggish start of crushings and exports in October, January. Now there is a big question mark. Will Ukraine actually be able to export 6.7 million tons in the current season? I very much doubt this. And this has created a lot of risks on the side of consumers who have low coverage, waiting for prices to drop, and now have to cover. Finding substitutes for Black Sea sun oil is not easy. Yesterday we have seen a pickup in purchases from Argentine sun oil, but Argentine export supplies are limited. Probably we are likely to see somewhat higher crushings and somewhat higher exports from Argentina than we estimated last week. But this cannot solve the situation. Big uncertainty how much sun oil will be available on the global market in coming months. Palm oil. Palm oil has been very tight over the past couple of weeks. The introduction of export controls in Indonesia has significantly reduced Indonesian exports. Some of this demand has been shifted from Indonesia to Malaysia, but Malaysia can offset Indonesian export losses, export declines, only to a limited extent. Now we face a situation that in February, Malaysian exports of palm oil are up sharply at the expense of stocks. Malaysian palm oil stocks will be very small at the end of this month. So vegetable oil, the vegetable oil market is on fire. And this is also spilling over into Castor to some extent. Worldwide stocks are reduced sharply. Record high prices of soya oil and palm oil implies a major burden for edible oil consumers. In this situation, the current high consumption of vegetable oils for biodiesel is not sustainable. It is high time that biodiesel policies are adjusted to the realities of the market, and this means temporary reductions of the consumption mandates in the key consuming countries, in Indonesia, in Europe, in the US, in South America. Some of that has already taken place in Brazil and Argentina, but considerably more has to come. In my opinion, there is a high likelihood that we will see some announcements and a decline and a reduction of biodiesel usage mandates in certain countries sometime soon. At least there is a high probability, in my opinion. And if that happens, it would have a major bearish impact immediately when the announcement is made on vegetable oil prices. In Indonesia, the current tightness, or on the world market, the current tightness in palm oil is temporary. While Indonesian exports are being reduced at the moment, partly due to administrative problems of giving the authorization for exports, Indonesian stocks are rising. And sooner or later, the Indonesian government is likely to change the rules and allow palm oil to again move out of the country in greater volume. The recovery of palm oil stocks in Indonesia is taking place, and we expect a downward pressure in prices once Indonesian exports become bigger. There is a very high uncertainty in the market at the moment, a lot of risks, but it appears to me that prices of edible oils have been pushed to a level which are not sustainable. Demand is suffering. World demand for edible vegetable oils are suffering at the moment, and I would not be surprised to see high volatility also to the downside in the medium term. With this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and I would be welcome, you would be welcome to contact me for any further questions. Thank you very much.